we're here today to educate Locke, because Locke is a little bit ignorant about medium format cameras, and especially Hasselblad, because last time you said
when you use it outdoor, it's kind of pretentious.
wrong, because it's one of the most accessible formats ever. You can have super expensive. There's the brand new CFV 100C.
Look at that, everyone.
I'm here.
Serious photographer over there with his Hasselblad.
I'm here in Bushy Park with my bright orange jacket, and Hasselblad here shooting here because I just want to get some little snapshots with my 100 megapixel medium format camera. But anyway, yes, what was I saying? You can go super expensive, but you can have really accessible. You can have second-hand, slightly older bodies for almost the same price as that S9.
Okay.
So, it's open to, it's accessible for everybody. But what about lenses? Well, lenses is kind of the same. You've got super expensive, or you've got slightly more affordable options.
Slightly more affordable, which is related to this really expensive one. So it's still expensive.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
Exactly.
As we talked about last time, if I say, oh, it's super cheap, some people might say, oh, no, that's not cheap. I can't afford that. No, £100, that's still not cheap. I want a £1 lens, that's cheap. So that's why I'm saying it, I'm wording it, I'm saying it's relatively more affordable. But what makes this a £5,700 lens?
The name.
Yeah, please don't drop it. And to something which is a little over £1,000. That's what we're going to show you and educate you. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be like, oh yes, Kai, yes, Hasselblad is fantastic. So with lenses, we've got the V, we've got the P, and we've got the E. These are all XCD lenses that fits on this and the X1D, X2D.
So actually, yeah, that's one question I always had.
Yes.
Is that this French distance is so thin, so they got two different formats.
So this lens will only fit
on this thin.
Yes, but I mean that is their system now. You've got the X system. X is basically the short flange distance one you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
I mean it started with the X1D, which is the mirrorless camera looking thing, and then this came a little bit later. First of all, this is the 907X. That is just that thin bit there.
Yeah.
And the back is the CFV 100C. Before they had the CFV
50. I assume it was 50 megapixel.
Yeah.
Did they have one film? I mean, did they have film camera with that film?
No.
I just think I saw some.
Well, we've seen the Hasselblad SWC because that was so wide. There's nowhere. I mean, they didn't put a mirror in it, so the film back was very close to the lens.
Yeah.
But that was its own camera. Like the lens was fixed.
Oh, okay. Because I keep thinking it's another system from Hasselblad that interchangeable lens and then. Okay.
So anyway, we've got the V, we've got the P, and we've got the E. The E is the most expensive. It seems like E stands for expensive.
What's E, P, and V?
Well, that's
just a different line of.
Yeah, different lines.
Oh, okay,
so you've got essentially the P is the cheapest one.
Like the peasants.
Yeah, and then V. What does V stand for then?
VIP.
Okay, and then the E is the most expensive. So V
Exclusive.
Yeah, I think it actually stands for exclusive. Yeah, exclusive. P stands for portable.
Portable.
P stands for portable. V is for versatile. E is exclusive, as you got right. I have to say thank you to Hasselblad for letting us borrow these lenses because this would be a very expensive video to make otherwise. Now, it's kind of obvious with P. Oh. So it's quite slim. This is a 45mm, which is kind of wide for this format.
You can tell it looks not as nice already. Like this is like straight lines, and this is like like a barrel.
As you've noticed, the P has a more economical. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it has less features than the V. The V has got this, a little pumpy thing. So you can change from autofocus to manual focus.
That's really nice.
And manual focus, you've got the scale distance, which is very handy because the P is very bare bones.
It looks like this is more mechanical as well. I mean, it's not focused. I'm not sure, is it focused by wire?
Sadly, though, it doesn't have a scale distance, so you can't focus it before it's even switched on. Or like with the X1D and with the 907X, you're relying on that rear LCD screen. Or with the X1D, you've got the EVF, so you can't exactly just focus it like a rangefinder beforehand. I mean, we put the P on.
I guess this would be louder and slower.
That's actually quite cute, though, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I think 45 is sort of like a 35mm lens. It's not too loud of focusing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's pretty silent. Well, the speed is not too bad. No, it's not like they've completely cut corners with this. And I think although it's got manual focusing with the V lenses, I guess you just have to figure out if you're really going to use manual focus. With this, I find myself not using manual focus at all.
Actually, not all of the V lens have focusing scale. Not this one.
There's a P.
Oh.
Yeah. I know it's got a similar ring to this one.
Yeah.
It feels like with this one, this is kind of an older. They've got some other lenses which I think are not really in stock anymore, and they've got this kind of rubber focusing ring. The newer ones tend to have this HHH.
Yeah.
So with the Ps, you've got the three. You've only got three here. You've got this one, the 45, the 75, and the 28. These are all Ps. For 75 in medium-ish format, that's quite compact. And you've got the 28, also quite compact. In fact, they're quite compact and lightweight. Well, yes, it's not really just the V thing. The newer P lenses also have a very quiet focusing and nothing moves in and out.
It's just a newer tech.
Yeah. And when you're buying mirrorless medium format, I guess you have to think what kind of setup do you want. If you're buying mirrorless, something like this, you want it quite compact, don't you?
The P and V lenses are prime lenses. The 45p is the most affordable one, and although the tech on that is a little bit older, I've always found the image quality to be top notch. For street photography, I find the focus to be a fraction slower than the new lenses, but the image quality is fantastic. The P lenses are cheaper not because of a drop-off in image quality, but they all have a slower maximum aperture than the V lenses, and with less physical features on the lens. So what about the E?
Well, if you compare it to the E, let's go straight to the E. Woof! Look at that! I mean, I had a little go with this, and I put it on a tripod. And it's got this problem where it kind of, especially I've got the Peak Design tripod, where it's it's just that ball head like that, and it's a little tiny little square. It really kind of struggles.
You really have to
tighten
it.
And even with the grip, if you put the grip on it, well, I guess that's a little bit better. But for some reason, I feel like the body more suited to the 20-35, the E lens, is the X2D or X1D, just because it's got the grip there permanently. But if you want a zoom lens, this is pretty much it.
Actually, this grip is not that comfortable.
No, it's sort of like quite square, isn't it?
It's a little bit square.
But the exclusive range, so it's essentially they've gone for just premium everything. You don't have to pull back. I mean, although actually they don't have a distance focusing scale on that, but of course it is a zoom lens, isn't it? So with the E, the exclusive range, there is only one lens at the minute. Is this lens?
Okay.
So this is £5,699, I think. Quite expensive, but it's a zoom. If you want a zoom for your Hasselblad, then it's pretty much this at the minute. There's some other zooms, but not all of them are immediately available. But I think if you kind of have to think if you really want something this big. Like when I used
a camera like this.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like the old 500C CM camera bodies, and I never used the zoom with them. There's always like primes. So kind of get used to the idea of using prime with this style of body. It kind of feels a little bit odd. Of course, it's versatile. You can have a number of lenses in that, but it's not a fixed aperture throughout the range. Just saying.
3.2 to 4.5.
Yeah. So it's not too bad. I mean, this is again something with medium format lenses. Don't expect anything with too fast a max aperture.
Because you already have medium format.
Yeah.
The E is exclusive because, well, there's only one of them. It's not the only zoom available though. There's a 35 to 75, although there's something impressive about the 20 to 35. It's an ultra wide angle zoom. Internal focus, zooming doesn't increase the length of the lens. It weighs a reasonable 800 grams despite being made of metal. Plus, there's no other X system lens that goes this wide with this fast an aperture. And even throughout the range, you're essentially getting image quality like you would with a load of primes. The only thing is, the E is also expensive.
The P's are all f4 maximum aperture. That one, as you said, 3.2 to 4.5, but that is a zoom. The versatiles are the ones which actually offer up a slightly faster aperture, which is useful when you're shooting in low light. Used this the other day at some kind of function. 2.5.
They go to a function with Hasselblad.
Yeah, it's just, that's a conversation starter, isn't it? Oh, look, your camera. Oh. And that is where the versatile of the V lenses comes into play. But they don't actually, I mean, in terms of size, they're not that much bigger. This is a 38. I mean, we could compare that to the 45. Not too much difference, is it?
Yeah.
I think that's just perfect. I think it's even more important with this 907X to pick a lens which feels like it's properly balanced. Of course, when you're picking a lens, you have to think about the balance, you have to think about the functionality, image quality, of course. And I think the V, for me, the Vs have got the perfect balance.
Dude, looks really nice. Look at that. The distance scale, the depth of field scale. Oh, this looks so retro. This is a control ring.
Yeah.
You can set to different features, I suppose.
Yeah. This is also a V lens. This is a 25mm. You can see it's a little bit longer, but f2.5, 25mm. That's quite a wide lens for medium-ish format. Let's just call it medium format. It's quite a wide lens for medium format. Interestingly, this one has got a declicky aperture or control ring. The quality of the V lenses is pretty good, isn't it? It doesn't feel too different to the exclusive range. It's not like the price of the V lenses, you'll get a lesser lens. Optically, who knows? But it's not like you can compare zoom lens with a prime lens anyway, is it? But the whole point of the V is that it kind of has a blend of the premiumness, great optics, but not compromising on size. And I think that's the good thing with this whole system, is that they have tried to design it as compact as possible. Some of these lenses are smaller than some mirrorless full frame lenses from, say, like Canon. You know, some of their L lenses are massive. Yeah. And you have to think that there's no distortion correction in body on the Hasselblads, you know, like with the Sony, you know, Sonys and Canons, they've got distortion correction, lens corrections and stuff like that. So it has to rely on the image quality, the optical quality of these lenses.
Honestly, having tried all of them, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend getting the cheapest lenses. And if you get one with an older Hasselblad body, that's a really amazing high-res setup for not much money at all that can produce some really gorgeously rich medium format images.
I mean, this is, I think it's $1,099 if you buy this, and if you buy a second-hand X1D, that can be had for £1,700, £2,000. And some second-hand Sonys are priced around that kind of price. You know, Sony A7R 5 or 4, around that kind of price. So that's not too bad, is it? If you don't mind the slightly slow focusing on that previous generation, because it's contrast detect and it's not quite as quick, then you're cool. What are you buying high-res body for anyway? You're not buying for sports, are you?
And with a conversation starter.
That's totally why you would buy it. But I mean, seriously, if you want to buy it to kind of look a bit different, then that's not too expensive, is it? You don't have to really pay the same price as a second-hand car. You can be a poser for less. You can be a poser for the same price as that. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, which one looks maybe not that X1D. Which one would look cooler?
Well, I think you'd struggle to look cool with any camera lock.
Thank you.
And it's a small body.
Yeah.
That's probably smaller.
Than some full frame.
I mean, if we think about the Q3, this probably fits in some smaller spaces better than the Q3.
Yeah.
Like,
Cause usually camera is like it's L shape at least. I mean the L shape in a bag it do take up space.
Yeah.
This is like just a rectangle.
yeah, exactly. It's great. So I think this is sort of equivalent to a 24 millimeters, maybe slightly wider.
You know, I find out one thing is that the older one, this one still use like laser engrave, this kind of CE,
Oh, right, yeah.
marks or something.
Yeah.
These
It's
are
engraved.
engraved.
That's fine.
I mean, they do give you,
engraved?
yeah, they do give you something different for the price you pay. Like you won't find it here.
That's the thing. When you say like, "Oh, it's pretentious," you make it sound like it's just a badge.
No, I mean I mean most luxury product it do worth it. It doesn't make it not pretentious. Oh, it's fighting for mates.
It's a love triangle.
Yeah.
Pigeon love triangle. Oh. Louis Vuitton. That's just a canvas bag, isn't it? That's laminated.
Yeah, some of them.
I mean, the world of fashion, some of that is pretentious. This is, at the end of the day, it's a functioning product and a well-made product. The same Leica is most of it. Some of it is a little bit, £520 Teddy. The thing is, when you think about different lines of lenses, you might think that the cheaper ones would be worse, noticeably worse. But when you're looking at not this one is not too bad, is it? The build quality is pretty nice, it's metal. I think the key thing is not to think of the P lenses as an inferior product. It's just maximum aperture, not as fast as V. Okay, there's pumpy ring, but we use it? Probably not.
But I think when you're paying for this just looks so much cooler.
What, does that bump up the pretentious scale?
Yeah. I mean, might as well. You're already getting Hasselblad, might as well get the most.
I love that throughout this video you haven't changed your opinion about the pretentiousness of this. But yeah, if you can't afford much, don't worry about getting that. Unless Locker's near you, he'll be like saying, "Oh, it looks like a barrel, oh, it looks ugly." But it's a good lens. It's a good lens, it's compact. It does go in and out, the focusing, but it's cheap, $1,099. Oh dear, we now go lighting again.
To put it simply before we waffle any further, P lenses are moderate maximum aperture primes in a smaller body. V lenses are f2.5 max aperture primes, which can help in low light, and not much bigger to be honest. E lens equals exclusive zoom, a very fancy one, it's just that you will sacrifice the portability. They all produce bloody nice images. That's the beauty of the Hasselblad X system right now. You can go all out and buy a brand new body and an E lens, or you could pay less, much less. And apart from the focus speed on the body, it doesn't feel like you get less when you look at the images. The three groups of lenses are essentially not grouped in terms of the quality or the performance you'll get for what you pay, but the functionality, which makes a lot of sense.
Are you convinced, Locke?
It's cheaper than I thought, smaller than I thought. I'll give you that.
So therefore, it's not pretentious. It's the every person camera. Anybody can own it.
Yeah.
You could own one if you wanted to.
People don't know that though.
No. That's why we made this video. Educate this guy on why Hasselblad could be great for anybody, not just for rich wankers. Last time you said they're a bit pretentious, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, conclusion, no. Okay.
But the P's, that's borrowed. That's right, it's borrowed. Vlogging camera. I mean, that could be, if only this could take video, this would be a medium format vlogging camera. It's lighter than some actual vlogging cameras. 28mm. Well, that's wide enough for vlogging. That's what it would look like for vlogging.
Yep.
Fantastic. Hasselblad, you know, I don't know, make something happen. Make a take video. I'd love it.